Thousands of people packed shoulder to shoulder, moving to a heavy bass line, sweating out the summer heat in a massive, swirling crowd. When most of us picture an outdoor music festival today, we expect highly polished, curated luxury. We look for sponsored VIP tents, massive Ferris wheels, and manicured grounds. We expect giant branded archways and blockbuster pop and rock headliners to justify those massive premium ticket prices. Then there is the Finger Lakes Grassroots Festival of Music and Dance. If you listen to local word of mouth, it sounds like a relaxing, nostalgic lakeside retreat deep in upstate New York. Approaching Grassroots with a mainstream mindset requires a total recalibration of what a festival can be. To find the value in this specific experience, we have to look past the corporate polish and examine the actual day-to-day reality on the ground. Grassroots takes place in Trumansburg, New York, nestled right against Cayuga Lake. It is an independent event that has run for 34 years, pulling roughly 20,000 people to a rural fairground for 4 straight days of camping. Recently, ticket prices have been steadily creeping up, yet the organizers continue to bypass the blockbuster mainstream headliners that usually justify those costs. This comparison matrix breaks down the difference between a standard commercial festival and a community gathering. We're looking at ownership, lineup strategy, and amenities. Grassroots lands entirely in the right column. There are no corporate sponsors backing the stages, and there is zero luxury infrastructure. You have to decide if you are paying for a predictable weekend of familiar hit songs, or if you are paying for total immersion into an uncompromising local ecosystem. Let's evaluate the musical return on investment. The first trade-off involves committing to a highly eclectic, non-commercial lineup. Because the event was founded by the local roots rock band Donna the Buffalo, you have to accept that they, along with other legacy acts, anchor the main stages year after year. The top of the poster rarely changes. But because they refuse to chase corporate trends, the undercard is incredibly deep. You get unconstrained access to Zydeco, African, reggae, and bluegrass artists you would almost never hear on a top 40 radio station. This chart compares the few repeating legacy acts against the sheer volume of discovery acts. Look past the headliners to the smaller bands. With over 70 acts across 4 stages running until 2 a.m., the volume of music is relentless. You don't come here to sing along to familiar radio hits. You come to abandon your setlist expectations and let the chaos of raw musical discovery take over. That chaos continues deep into the night. Inside the dimly lit tents, crowds pack tightly together, moving rapidly to fast rhythms through heavy summer humidity. This is the Grassroots late-night dance tent. If you go, you are opting into a legendary 24/7 festival rhythm. While most corporate festivals enforce a strict midnight noise curfew, the high-energy Zydeco bands here keep people driving hard on the dance floor until 5 or 6 in the morning. But that round-the-clock schedule creates a brutal physical endurance test. With drums and accordions echoing through the fairgrounds until sunrise, getting a quiet, restful night of sleep in the campgrounds is nearly impossible. Pacing is absolutely mandatory. If you try to treat this 4-day marathon like a standard Friday night concert, you will hit total physical burnout before Saturday morning. The next factor to weigh is the social environment. You are stepping into a fiercely local, unrestricted granola community. During the day, that translates to an incredibly welcoming and authentic atmosphere. Families get face paint, attendees practice morning yoga, and the food vendors serve Laotian dishes and organic coffee instead of standard carnival food. However, keeping corporate security out means the festival operates on a heavily free-range culture. There is very little policing of the grounds. Look at the contrast here. The wholesome, family-friendly daytime art barns give way to a very different, chaotic reality in the unpoliced campgrounds after dark. Because local kids and teens are left largely unsupervised, the night often devolves into a massive teenage party with highly visible recreational alcohol and drug use. Refusing to corporatize the event preserves its creative, bohemian freedom, but it explicitly sacrifices the tightly curated safety and order of a mainstream event. Finally, there are the physical logistics of living outdoors. You are committing to 4 days of mid-July camping at a raw agricultural fairground in upstate New York. On the upside, this forces total immersion. You get impromptu acoustic jam sessions around the tents and deep regional bonding with your neighbors. The unavoidable cost is the elements. It is frequently very hot, incredibly humid, and extremely dusty, and you are relying entirely on shared porta potties alongside thousands of other people. When you look at the sheer density of a historic festival crowd like this, packed onto the raw earth, you can see how quickly personal space disappears and the grime sets in. A Tendelmas festival requires a high baseline tolerance for physical discomfort and dirt. This decision tree flowchart breaks down exactly who should buy a ticket. It all starts with your primary festival goal. If you demand pristine luxury amenities, standard 8-hour sleep cycles, and recognizable mainstream rock headliners, follow this path. You should avoid Grassroots. But if you prioritize roots music discovery, late-night Zydeco dancing, and artisanal local food, follow the path to the green checkmark. You are a perfect match. Because the culture here is so polarizing, the actual monetary value of your ticket is dictated entirely by which branch of this flowchart you land on. At dusk, away from the main stages, you'll find circles of people packed around campfires, sharing songs and playing acoustic instruments into the night. The intensely loyal, slightly wild community is the festival's most significant asset. Many attendees return every year, regardless of the specific lineup, because they value the collective atmosphere over any individual performer. For resilient campers and devoted Roots fans, the heat, the dust, and the lack of sleep are a completely fair price to pay for authentic, unbranded culture. Grassroots is ultimately a massive regional class reunion disguised as a music festival. If you match the vibe, it's a premium, lifelong investment.